As I stand here today on the precipice of greatness, I'm reminded of all that came before me. How many a man failed so that I could succeed? How many a man walked so that I could run? How many a man devoted their lives to perfecting their craft so that they might achieve greatness? To answer this question, we must go back before the virus, back before Obama was president, back before even the fall of the Soviet Union. My friends, let me take you back to a time in which the primordial seas swept the land and all was ruled by the ancient magics of mystical fantasy creatures unimaginable in the current day, like dragons, fairies, and giraffes. Yes, my friends, our story today begins all the way back in the distant era of 1985. So you're an 80s kid. Well, what really was there to do? After all, this was the time where the internet was still emerging, phones still had cords for some ungodly reason, and people were still pretending that mullets were ever a good idea. Well, for many that answer was simply skateboarding with friends, or pretending to chew on lollipops thinking they're cigars. If that didn't excite you, you could always watch some anti-drug PSAs, as the war was still in full swing at the time. However, there was a group that wasn't quite satisfied with any of those options, a group who didn't exactly fit in the mold society had tried to place them under, and that group found solace one way or another, and that was through arcades. A magical place where nerds and losers alike could gather to fulfill their wildest fantasies, as long as their fantasies were being cramped in a hot room with hundreds of other teens, hormones flying. Really, it was just pretty subpar overall. But putting aside the BO, there was something special about arcades in the early days. They were a place where some of the newest and most prospective game series originated from. And as it just so happens, one of those series you're most likely familiar with. What I'm referring to, none other than a plump little Italian man called Mario. The Super Mario Bros. Series has been around for nearly 40 years now, which is kind of scary to think about. But despite its age and having countless titles under the franchise, the original game still is held in reverence and played actively by a small community of people to this day. As a matter of fact, the Mario series has picked up particular traction in a specific community. A community of gamers who decided to take a community of gamers who tried to take their average abilities to another level. This group started out as a few close friends in the basement trying to race each other in a game or two. Then it became a larger community. Then it became a town of people who all wanted to see who could beat the game as fast as they could. And suddenly, as the rise of video games became more prominent in mainstream culture, the best of the best were thrust into the spotlight. In an instant, speedrunning became an actual genre of video gaming. There were people, granted very few, who could make somewhat of a living off of just playing a game as fast as they physically could. Over the years, this form of speedrunning changed to be more digital, and many people tend to move on as the games progress, going from Mario to Pokemon to whatever else is on the shelf. But that's not the case for the people I'm talking about today. These individuals spent hours, if not years, of their lives honing their abilities on one specific game, playing the same levels over and over again until they reach perfection. And I'm sure you could guess which game we're talking about today. The first Super Mario. Something about it just exudes an aura of respect. And I hold the same reverence for the speedrunners of the game. I heard stories of when people used to think beating Mario in under 20 minutes was impossible. And then somebody did it in 18. And then they said it couldn't be beat in under 16 minutes. And someone did it in 15. And then someone said 10 minutes. Someone beat it in 7. then someone said 6, someone beat it in 5. And to this day, the record is 4 minutes and 55 seconds to beat the entire game. This was only possible because of an insane level of dedication, perseverance, and ingenuity on the part of hundreds of people out there who all came together to work for a common cause, to beat Mario as fast as possible. In truth, I've always held speedrunners in a high light ever since I started watching some of their streams on Twitch. These people can dedicate so much time and energy to something that most of us would find so trivial, and something about it fascinated me. A while ago, my dad was fortunate enough to purchase an old arcade machine, and it just so happened to have Mario on it. I didn't think much at first, but when I booted up that game, something changed inside of me. As I played through the levels, I could feel my hands getting accustomed to the controls. I could feel the rush of adrenaline that came from going fast, and I could feel the power that it gave me. 1 hour turned to a few hours turned to a day, and my hands were numb. I was visibly sweating. I could feel every press of the button reverberate through my body. I felt, no, I knew that I was Mario. Every move, every walk, every jump, every pound, every power-up, and it felt good. I couldn't stop. I watched videos after that. Countless videos of people perfecting their craft, people building machines to get the theoretically most perfect run possible. I studied the strategies, the specific frame-perfect button imprints. I studied how it would take milliseconds of a correct input to shave even fewer milliseconds off of a time that was already highly competitive. I learned all the tricks of the trade, and I tried to put them to use as best as I could. And yet after all that, I still knew I wasn't cut out for speedrunning. After all, I am not illusioned enough to believe I'm cut from the same cloth as some of these true champions. However, my logic didn't stop me from trying, and so I did. For hours and hours and hours. I practiced again and again and again and again, and I died again and again, over and over and over again. I could feel myself slipping away with each mistake, with each death, with each flaw. I felt a part of myself burn on the inside, and yet I would not be dissuaded. I stayed up. I stayed staring. I stayed watching. I stayed playing. And then something changed. Something broke within me. And that was when I realized I was not fit for speedrunning in the first place. I know I mentioned that earlier, but I mean, I had a good run. I lasted a day, maybe like 4 hours of practicing the game, but I have a new respect for speedrunners. Oh my god, it was so difficult. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I can't speedrun this game.
Hey y'all, Kid who uses a blanket as a green screen here. Anyway, let's just get straight to the point here. Even though I'm not going to be speedrunning the original Mario, that doesn't mean the title of this video was a lie. No, no, no. I am going to get the world record in some game. Now, many of you might not know this, but I actually have quite the extensive history in speedrunning. Oh man, I remember a long 2 weeks ago, I was speedrunning the New Super Mario Bros. Wii U. It was a pretty competitive bracket, to say the least, with 37 minutes to complete the entire game. And I thought I did pretty well. In fact, if you go on speedrun.com, I'm within the top percentile. I'd say I'd fit around right between 93 and 92. I finished the game in like an hour and 24 minutes, so yeah. Top 100, not that bad. I mean, what? There's like 7 billion people in this world, and hey, I'm only one of 100 that completed this game in under hour 30. That's really good if you ask me. But no, we're not just gonna stop at pretty good. We're not even gonna stop at really good. We're gonna be the best. And by we, I mean me. But before we get to that, I'm gonna just change out of this comically small tie. Welcome back! Let's just ignore the fact that it is many hours later in the day. And before you ask, this is my sister's phone. I did not get mine bedazzled pink and blue, I got mine all pink with glitter. I found a game to surpass them all. One that's been overlooked by most of the community, except for a select percent of the highest IQ individuals who saw this game as the pinnacle of skill, entertainment, luck, and above all else, difficulty. This game is none other than Imposter, or as you might know it, Imposter. Who is the imposter among us? Or you might also know it as Imposter. Who is the imposter among us? Werewolf and Zombies edition. It's pretty unclear which of those three is the actual title, but that's besides the point. Honestly, I'd say this game speaks for itself, and we should just jump right into it. Without further ado, I'm gonna click play online. Okay, there we go. The second it connects to the server, I'm gonna start. Oh, there it is. Wait, this is the lobby. Okay, I forgot to mention it, but I've never played this game before. Start. Okay, let's see. I'm innocent. Good to know, good to know. Wait, what? Why do I have a kill button if I'm innocent? Okay. Oh! Time! That was time! 27 seconds! I didn't do anything! I did it! This is the greatest moment of my life! Oh my god, and look at the ad! So fitting, Imposter versus Craftsman Among Us. God damn it. I'm so proud of this community. I have officially just taken the world record in Imposter. Who is the imposter among us? Also known as Imposter, also known as Imposter Who's Among Us Werewolf and Zombies Edition. And yes, technically I only got that by default because no one else has ever speedrun this game. But that doesn't change the fact that out of 7 billion people, I'm the first to ever complete this game. Anyway, I think that's all I got for you today. I think I need to take some time to ponder what I've actually just done. Oh no. I'll just see you all next time. I need to sit in a corner and think about my life real quick. Goodbye. Like, goddamn, I have a newfound respect for speedrunners. Like, if I had to choose between fighting to the death with an FBI agent from, like, the Special Ops with, like, a Glock, or just a random speedrunner I picked up off the streets, I would choose the FBI agent, because y'all know that speedrunner's gonna find a way to just clip through the street and just deck me in 80 different ways.